School holidays start in earnest this week, which means families will be crisscrossing the country to be with loved ones at Christmas. So after a year of too many deaths, is enough being done to keep us safe on our roads?
5 people are in hospital and Windsor Road all but closed following a major crash.
A family has been torn apart after teenage cousins were killed in a Father's Day motorbike crash.
1,253 lives lost.
Very sad news this morning from the New South Wales Hunter Valley. 10 people have been killed in a horrific bus crash.
The deadliest 12 months on Australian roads since 2018.
Charlie boy, you lived life and gave so much to so many.
Families facing Christmas without their loved ones. And experts say a lack of reliable national data means no one knows exactly how to prevent these deaths.
There is mountains of data that can be collected that would help us get a better sense of the road safety challenges, but right now we are not capturing those data and certainly not using it.
Less than a fortnight ago, federal, state and territory transport ministers met to discuss funding for road infrastructure. But we're yet to reach full data transparency.
The fact that we don't even know what the road toll nationally is today and that the most current information we have is over 2 weeks old is in and of itself pretty alarming.
And while a lack of data alone isn't to blame for every life lost on our roads,
we need to do a better job of improving the road network and making it safer, and we need to do a better job of putting our resources into what should be the tip of the spear when it comes to enforcement, and that is police.
data could be crucial.
4 young women believed to be teenagers have died and another is fighting for life after their car slammed into a tree in Western Victoria.
A boy is dead and 4 teenagers are in hospital after a horror single vehicle crash.
So with too many families missing someone around their table this Christmas,
Australians deserve a holiday this year, but we want them to get home alive.
can better road toll data save lives?
Well, Russell White is from the Australian Road Safety Foundation. Russell, why is the death toll so high this year?
Well, Hamish, it's actually a real challenge. I mean, there's a number of things that I think that are at play, and some things we may not know the real answer to for quite some time. But I think what we have seen is a change in our attitudes and our culture and our general belief to what road risk actually is. And I think there's a whole stack of social issues that all combine on the street as well. So it's a complex issue. It's more than just people breaking the road rules. I think it's, a degeneration, if you like, of people's attitudes towards risk and personal responsibility.
Would reliable real-time data reduce the death toll on our roads?
Yeah, it's definitely part of the picture, Georgie. I think one of the things we've struggled with, certainly as a not-for-profit road safety organisation, is getting real data on the true impact of road trauma itself. And it's more than just fatalities. We've got to try and look at what the physical and the mental illness is around road trauma as well. So there is some more data for that. And there's also data needed for better road construction. So I think that is something we've got to try and get a little bit of national harmony around that. And I think we've got to try and get both the local and the state government working with the federal government to have a more consistent level of road safety facts and figures that we can draw on to not only improve roads, but how we can also improve road safety outcomes for everybody.
Are people driving less safely on our roads than they were in the last 5 years?
Yeah, Nick, I think anyone who's on the road at all has probably seen a really big shift, I think, in the way that people view personal responsibility. I think also we've seen a level of intolerance and people really being impatient to get to that destination. So I think when you combine that, also with, I guess, things that have changed post-COVID, again, people's general attitudes and views on how they live life, I think those things also create a situation that is very difficult to legislate with. You've got to try and look at how do you bring the community along with improving road safety, because it's not just a government or a police problem. It really rests with the community and ultimately that means individuals as well.
Russell, I'm heading out on the road on Friday. A lot of people are this time of year. What can we all do to keep ourselves and other people on the road safe?
Yeah, Sam, great question. I think when it comes to driving at any time, but especially during the Christmas period, you want to be making sure that you've got plenty of time, that you're not fatigued, that you're not under the influence of anything. And certainly you want to make sure that you're driving to suit conditions. You know, we've got a summer that's going to have a whole stack of different things, whether that's heat or fire, floods. It's a matter of driving to suit those conditions. And I guess really, I think that if there was one tip I would give people, it's making sure that you're looking as far ahead down the road as you possibly can. It's about trying to project your mind ahead and to literally be thinking faster than you're driving. So drive to suit conditions and look as far ahead as you can. That'd be my tip.
Russell, thanks for your time. Drive safely.
Thanks, guys. All the best.
I thought that was a great tip from Russell about looking as far as you can on the road. Because I think, you know, there are so many different driving conditions, and often we drive in a very similar way day to day. Like it might be you have your normal route, but things change and you kind of have to kind of be as observant as you can be.
Notwithstanding everything they were saying there about the absence of data, I think we all know anecdotally that if you're driving in places that are unfamiliar, it just is more risky because you don't really know where you're going. You don't know what the flow of traffic is. I think you even notice it in your own home community during holiday periods when suddenly there's a whole heap of people that aren't doing the regular school run or the run to work, driving in those spaces and using those spaces differently to how they normally are. So, you know, as bad as the figures are at this point in the year, I guess it's a good reminder for us all to just sort of keep your eyes open and do take care if you're on the roads.
Keep your phone out of reach. I find that I really struggle just with my attention span these days, and I know that that's just something that is going to continue to happen. Attention span gets shorter and shorter, so if it's a longer drive, beyond 2 hours, I really need to stop.
That's you agreeing not to TikTok whilst
I won't TikTok, I promise. I promise, Hamish, I promise. We did ask federal, state and territory governments about their data sharing practices. We have put their full statements on our website.